Okay, good evening all. Thank you for enrolling in this new sessions, new webinars
Good evening to you
for
all.
this thank you. Thank you for participating in these sessions. This is the second sessions of the series of the webinars that Eco Training Center uh, held and related to the SDGs. These are 2 days, 2 months, sorry, 2 months, and there is about 19 sessions about all the SDGs in additional to the other things related to the SDGs as well. I want to thank you again, and I will be with you to talk about how can we understand and implement SDGs. The other session will be in the same topics related to the SDGs. Each one will cover one or two goals, and my colleague from all over the world will cover all these SDGs. Would you please, in the beginning, I want you to keep muted during the presentations and to participate effectively in the discussions. We are not just presenter, we are not just presenting information. We want you to share your experiences, your knowledge about SDGs, especially when you implementing them in your country. And I am sure every one of us all have his own or her own experiences about the implementations. What are the strengths and what are the weaknesses and what are the advantages of doing them, implementing them, and how can we measure and assess them. In the beginning, I want to thank you all, and from my side, I will talk. On the same time, I'm trying to administer all the activities related to the session of today. Thank you again, and let me share you my presentation. Okay, can you see the presentation, please?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay.
Yes, it's open.
Thank you. It seems there is translation to Arabic. I'm trying to promote our services to be available for all languages. I hope so. So I'm talk about how do we understand implement SDG. In the beginning, I want to highlight very important, I think, question related to sustainability. How can we understand it, and how we can, why it is so important? Sustainability is a balance. Is a simple definitions for sustainability. Is a simple definitions about sustainability. It is a balance between environment, equity, and economy. You can see and you can analyze these definitions. We are looking to the planet, the people, and also the economy in the same time. What it is important because we live on a planet of finite resources. It is not open resources. It is very limited, and it's finite resources. But often we treat it like our resources, not for the next generations. Our resources are infinite. You see, treat them as infinite, but they are finite. Also, we have become used instant gratifications where we want to achieve best. Yes, there is some echo, please. Okay. What now I will talk about the sustainability pillars. As I said in the beginning, there are three essential pillars. In some studies, they say four, but here I am talking about three pillars. The first one related to the social, second economic, and the third environment. And if we look of each pillar, we can see social related to the people and how they behave, the other related to the environment and how can people related to behave to related to the environment, the climate, other issues related to the planet, and the economic issue related how people also treat with these to the benefits of the people. Integrating between pillar or other pillars, many pillars, or two or three pillars, in a whole result, we can reach to the stability. If you want to talk about the social, we are talking about the quality of life, education, community development, equal opportunities for all, and laws and ethics. When we talk about the environment, we want to protect our resources. We talk about resource management. We talk about environment protection and habitat restoration and preservation. And we want to talk about economic. We are going to talk about the smart growth, long range planning, cost saving, research and development spending, cost of living. As I said, in combination between social and economic, we can reach to the fair taxations or business ethics, trade, and so on. In a brief, when these pillars are available in any actions, we can reach to that sustainability. Now, the other definitions related to sustainable development. We can say sustainable development is a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising or harming the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. This is the definitions of sustainable development. We want to use our resources without harming the next generation's needs. And these resources are for us and for the next generations. This is why we say that, because we are building an inclusive, sustainable, and resilient future for people and the planet now and in the future. Now, these are, as I said, these are the Sustainable Development Goals. This is the logo, and it is very well known in all over the world. And I think every one of you know well about it. And I will talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, in general, not in details, because other colleagues will talk in the next sessions. Now, what is the Sustainable Development Goals as definitions, and what are they? The Sustainable Development Goals, or we can sometimes call them global goals, are a collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Of course, it launched in 2015 after the United Nations General Assembly and are intended to be achieved by 2030. So this is why called 2030 agenda. When we talk about SDGs, it means in the 2030 agenda and vice versa. They are 17 goals. 17 goals cover every elements in our life, every elements in the people lives and the planet. And they, as I said, interrelated. So I will say, how can we preserve them? How can the understanding and implement them in local, regional, or international levels, and in the same time in individual level? Now, yes. Now I want to ask you a favor. Why? Please share your opinion. Why is it important that everyone should be aware of the goals? Why is it important that everyone should be aware of the goals? I will stop the sharing for a while and please tell me. Yes, I'm hearing. If anybody want give us his opinion, why should everybody of us should aware about this goal? Yes, please. Anybody want to give?
Yes, Mr. Kamal.
Yes, Dr. Manzer.
I believe they are very important because they cover all aspects of our life, and we cannot avoid or put aside any one of them. They are all built on each other. You have to start from the first one to the last, and you cannot say that we have to remove this one and that one. So that's why it is very important. It covers everything in our life, and we have to take it as a pile, one pile, not one by one. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Manzer. Yes, Mr. Dari. Unmute yourself, please.
I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Goals are important for the SDGs because it would serve. It's very important. It will inspire and motivate everyone. This SDGs, they have goals because it's well planned. And by establishing the important goals of the SDG, it's connected to, you know, our very own life. And I guess it would be able to guide all of us to keep us focused and be able to help us sustain, you know, the momentum of this SDGs. And lastly, goals are very important because it helps us align our focus in promoting the SDGs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other answers, please?
Okay. In the perspective
Yes,
of the
Mr.
goals,
Madud,
yes. In the perspective of the goals are safe zones of interconnection. If people are not well interconnected on the goals, the goal would not be well implemented because they serve as a life chain in the global in the global village. Today, the goals are so essential for people to join hands worldwide in order to achieve 80% of it for the forthcoming generation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. There is a good description from all the participants about the importance and importance of SDG and why we need to understand, to know, to be acknowledged about the SDGs.
To make everyone participate.
Yes, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, to make everyone participate. That's why we want like to eradicate all the goals into the conception of the people to participate together, because they need everyone to participate.
Yes, yes, thank you. Okay, I will go back to the presentation. We talked about this point. Now I will talk more briefly about the SDG. As I said, there are 17 SDGs integrated. They recognize that, of course, the people, the United Nations and the country members recognize that action in one area will affect outcomes of others, and that development must balance social, economical, environment, sustainability. As I said, there were in the previous slide, I said 3 pillars: economic, environment, and social. Countries have committed to prioritize progress for those who are farthest behind. Of course, for the developing country, the SDG are designed to end poverty, hunger, AIDS, discrimination against women and girls. This is just an example because we are covering here many issues, all issues that related to the people and the planet. Okay. Of course, the United Nations conducted the biggest public consultation in its history to ask which issue should be included in the goals. Why there are 17? After long discussions for more 5-6 years, they discuss a lot about what are the basic issues that should we consider as people for the planet and for the people, for the humanity in general. And they agreed, after long discussion, they agreed for 17 goals were needed in order to accommodate people's views. That way, the correct focus will be placed on the area that are the essential for creating sustainable future for all. It means for all means for all. This question also, how as I said here, for the sustainable development, we have to consider 3 things: economical growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection, which were elements or pillars for the sustainability. These elements are interrelated, and all are crucial for the well-being, the people, and the societies, and the planet, and all over the world. Here I am giving an example. For example, a reduction poverty is on its form and dimension is undisciplinable requirement for sustainable development. To this end, there must be promotion of sustainable, inclusive, equitable economic growth, creating greater opportunity for all, reducing inequality, raising basic standard of living, fostering equitable social development and inclusion, and promoting integrated and stable management of natural resources and ecosystems. It means anything here, any goal should be interrelated with other goals here, and here taking poverty as an example, but in the same time it 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 related to each other and related to the other goals. Other question: does every country should work to achieve all these goals? Here I can say yes. Not I say, can say, all of us, all the world can say yes. Why? Because it is simply each country should consider all the goals. Of course, in many levels, in maybe some goals more important than others, related to the situation, related to the geographical location, related to the number of people as inhabitant. I see. So we have, each country should consider this to achieve all goals. In this issue, countries should plan on the national level, and this plan should be harmonized with regional and international level. I mean, when you achieve, let's say, a goal or a percentage of the in the goal, it related to the region and related to the world. The governments in the country members should put their own national plans to achieve their goals and the international goals, mean SDGs. In the same time, it is not only the responsibility of the governments only. It's responsibility of everyone, even the civil organizations, the companies, the schools, the other also members. Each one of us, each one of the people, either they are children or elderly people, they have to take their in consideration to achieve the SDGs in their behavior, in their culture, in the daily actions. It means the responsibility should be for all, and the government should control and lead these achievements. Do you think that this thing should cost a lot, and how much will it cost to achieve the goals? Of course, no one can say the number because it differs from country to country related to the needs. It's needs themselves for themselves. As you know, each country differs from others. It means no, there is not specific amount for achieving this, but to achieve all the goals, recently estimated that about 20% of the world GDP would be sufficient. Of course, some countries who are developed countries maybe can pay more or can pay for the developing country. It's related to the mutual relations between developed country and developing country. While these sums are large, they are far outweighed by the cost of not investing in the goal, including increased impacts of the climate change, for example, effects of the inequality and poor health and world economy. As you can notice that each one related to the others, and even the cost may be integrated. We can talk about SDG in the education, but in the same time, while we are educate students about the SDGs, how to preserve the environment, how to preserve the natural resources, it means we are going to achieve another goal, and so on. Now, there is an activity, and for all of us as a participant in this webinar, what can you do to contribute to meeting the global goals? I want you to give your suggestions about this. What can we contribute? As I said, each one of us have his own or her responsibility to achieve, to meet the goals of the world or the global goals. I will stop the sharing now. I want to hear from you. What can we do?
I guess for me as an educator in the Philippines, what we normally do now, we try to integrate it into the school curriculum. So we explain it to our students from the grade school up to the senior high school, and then we level up in terms of the discussion. We are currently having international academic collaboration. For example, we are having a collaboration with Japanese students, our students and the Japanese students. We get to talk about a specific SDG, and students would share their ideas of what that SDG is all about. And after the sharing presentation of both students, both of them later on will come up with an action plan as to how they're able or how they will be able to do it as students. So I guess that would be a very simple way of addressing the SDGs. Thank you.
Thank you for this declaration. More contribution, please. How can we contribute to achieve the global goals? Yes, I'm hearing. You can write on the chat box if you like. Sihit Kamel says, I am a teacher, and as an educator, I need to educate my students to achieve the global goals. Yes, this is good contribution, and I think it's very basic contribution. Gherkin says, behave different, think global and act local. Very nice. We have to consider all the needs of the globe, and at the same time the needs of the next generation. To be responsible and take actions. Thank you, Erkan, again. Okay, I want you to give me from your experience, from your own knowledge about how can we contribute. Each one, at least 1 point from each. Even you can say it, or you can write it on the chat box. Would you please? Anyone to say anything? Here I want to say, as I said, each one of us can contribute. As a father or mother, as a educator, as a social worker, as a activist, or as worker in the factory, or working in, for example, recycling. We can do a lot. Each one of us in his position, in his place, can do many things, because here we are changing in the mentality of preserving the resources for the next generations. When we talk about recycling, we are talking about reserving the resources for the next generations. When we are talking about planting trees, it means we are also talking about the global goals. When we think to build a factory considering the environmental issue, we are working on the global goal. When we make a campaign about, for example, purification the water, or digging, or cleansing the water in the lakes or the shores, we are talking about the global goal. When are we talking about the equity between genders, we are talking about the global goals. These ideas give you some hints, for example, how to think globally, how to think sustainably. I mean, to be a sustainable thinker, we have to think and act. I know that everybody of us can say, yes, I want to preserve the nature. I want to live in peace. I want to working to stop wars, to stop, for example, harming the ozone layer. Or sometimes, as teacher, or as practitioners, or as a social worker, each one of us can contribute from his own location or position. So I think, of course, I don't know your measures or your specialization, but for example, anyone work with students can say anything, can say, anyone who work in the environment can say. I urge you to tell us your experience. We are not just want to listen to me only. We are discussing, and we want all to give his opinion. Anyway, I will
Excuse
go
me,
back
can
to
I
the
share my
present.
experience?
Yes, Reem, here
In
you
my
are.
old school, we made like our geography teacher told us to make like a project, an awareness project, about a very important goal, which is like to conserve water and protect it from pollution. So every one of us made a project about it, and like we said how important is water and we need to protect it. And we explained it to each other in the class, and then our next step was that we went to all classes in the school and explained our points of views and told them what we see and how can we conserve water and protect it. And I see that because we did that, like we made an awareness in the whole school, and we talked about an important goal, which is conserving water. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very clear and simple suggestion. Okay, I will go back to my screen again. Here are some suggestions related how can we contribute. Spread the word about the global goals. so that more people can take actions and contribute to the meeting of the goal. Join the organization, link to the sections that actively contribute to the meeting the goal. Reduce your general waste and your environment footprint. Avoid plastics. Take the train instead of the aeroplane. For example, the train instead of aeroplane, bike instead of the car. Make conscious choices in your constitutions, buy local and try make sure that what you buy is produced in fair and sustainable way. There are so many suggestions for meeting the global goals. Now, how can we measure the progress toward the sustainable development goals? This is that's a very big question. Here we have to consider that, as we said, there are 17 goals. Each goal has many targets, and each target has many indicators. What do you mean by targets? Targets is descriptions and give more details about the goals. What are the issues? What are the elements of the goal? When we talk about goal number 4, about education for all, what does it mean? There is a description about more clarification about the goal in the targets. There are 169 targets. Now, for each target, there is at least one indicator. Of course, there are more, but at least one indicator for all targets. I mean, targets, indicators. There is 232 unique indicators, no repeated indicators. I mean, when I work, I have to consider the indicators. It is a statistical way and to measure the progress to achieving the targets and then the goal. The SDG indicator should be disaggregated where relevant by income, sex, age, race, ethnicity, migratory status, disability, and geographical location, and maybe other characteristics. Here I will share with you this link to show you what are they, goals, targets, and indicators. I will stop here. I will share from other one. One minute, please. Okay, I will share the screen now. Okay, as you see here, there is goals, target, indicators. For example, I will give you now one just example. This is the goal, and this is the description of the goal. Goal number 1: end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Look at this, the inclusivity related to the all and everywhere. Each Goal has this logo and the number. If we want to go to the targets, there is number and sub numbers related to the goal. 1.1, and this is description of the target. This is description of the target. Now, look here, the indicator. Each target, as I said, has one at least indicator, at least one. And look at these indicators. Proportion of the population living below the international poverty line by sex, age, employment status, and geographical location, urban or rural. As you notice, there is only one indicator for the target number 1. If you want to go to the target number 2, 1.2, 1.4, the goal 2 for the target, there is more than one indicator here, 1.2.1 and 1.2.2. It means the two indicators describe the target. There is target and there are indicators. Would you please mute yourself, please? Excuse me. Okay. Thank you. For the target number 3 or 4 or 6, if you want to go to another goal, also the same. This is goal number 2. We have targets, many targets, and we have many indicators for each target. It means if you want to measure the progress of the target, we have to look at the indicators and try to achieve this indicator and give statistics numbers to know what percentage we achieve this target, and then we can consider the goal.
Excuse me, can you please share the screen again because it's not
Goals,
visible?
targets, indicators can be considered in the national level or regional level then, and in the global level. Of course, there is many organizations that follow the progress in all over the world. I will go back to that. Go back to the presentation to say what are okay. Okay, we talked about goals and target and unique indicators. Now, there is how the United Nations, how international organization tracking the progress in the Sustainable Development Goal. We'll go to this website to tell you about it and to know how can see and look and get information about the tracking progress of achieving SDGs, either in each country or in the region or also in the world. I will go now to other link to show you what is the site talking about. Okay. This website, it's related to the Sustainable Development Report. Of course, in this one, we can see all the changes happening every day related to achieving the SDGs. And it's we can get reports. We can reports about what's happening. Of course, this report is updated gradually, and we can see how the countries ranking in scores, get scores, rankings, and the scores for related to the achieving the SDGs. Of course, it is simple one, and we can monitor and see everything, every development happen. I will just give you an example, and you can go back to see it. I will share this link with you in the chat box if anybody wants to know more about it. Look at this interactive map. And it gives you information about what are the goals have been achieved and what is the percentage of achieving it. I will give you an example just for Sweden. The score is 85.61 in simple way. If you want to see more about Sweden, I can go to the country profile. Here, look here. And these goals is mentioned here. And if you want to know more about no poverty, I can click and to see more information. Here, Sweden in the green. It means that SDG is achieved. If you want to go to the Algeria, for example, there are many challenges remain. Okay, this is to give us more information. This is to help us to understand and how to implement the SDGs in our establishments, schools, factory, company, in our home country, in our village, and then we can say in our word.
Can you please
Here
share
I
the
will
link in the chat?
finish my presentation, and I hope this information is good and related to your questions, your needs. So I want to thank you and give you the floor if you have any question.
Yes, the question is, as some of the people
Yes.
who have never been attending the sustainable goal, how can we obtain certificates from this training program?
Madut, sorry, I can't hear you well. Anybody hear him?
I say that as one of the people who hadn't been attending this program, how can we obtain the certificate from this program?
Yeah. As we agreed with the director, Mr. Azzat, and the coordinator, Siham, that who attending 80% of the all sessions will get certificate. 80% of session. And effective participation, not just listening.
Not just reasoning, being online only, but you should be active participating, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. How long will the program take?
We'll take about, we have 3 sessions each week, and we'll cover 19 sessions to cover 17 goal.
Yeah.
It means about 2 months.
Okay. I'll try. I will try.
And
to
there is
to
there is a
score the
link.
grade.
There is a link in the Facebook page of EcoTraining Center
Yeah.
explaining all these details.
Okay. Thanks, Professor.
Thank you. Any other question, please? Anyone to say anything about his experiences? Of course, there is some question. Can you please share the link? The link of what?
She's asking if there is a link for the certificates.
I shared for the dashboards or another.
No, she is asking if you have a form for the certificate to share it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yes, of course, not now, after finishing, and I and Siham will working to recognize all the participants who attended 80% of the webinars.
Okay. Another question, Professor.
Yes.
Yeah, because now we are attending the programs, and the program is like it designated from the UN assembly or UN headquarters in the Sweden. We don't know, is this training voluntarily or to be paid later?
I can't decide about others training or courses. We are talking about EcoTraining Center now, and all the sessions are free, open, and for everybody. So this is why we didn't send a registration form, because to give opportunity for everybody to share the link and to ask others to share. It's open for everybody.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay. Excuse me. In the end, I want to thank you very much for your participation, and I hope I can give you enough information, knowledge about SDG in general.
Hello, Sir Kamal. Do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I want just to thank you for this session. It's very interesting and a lot of information and fruitful session. Thank you for all effort deployed. Thank you to all participants in this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amina. She is very well known and active in all platforms, and I am so happy to be with us in this session.
Dr. Kamal, I'd like to thank you and your group for this wonderful session. And I've learned a lot, and I am hoping very soon to be able to collaborate with you and the rest of the participants here. Kudos to your group. Congratulations.
Yes. For anybody has any project, any question, any activity, I'm so happy to enroll with him or her. I will put my email in the chat box, and if you want to mail me, I will be so happy. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you, Kamal. See you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Dr. Kamal, don't forget your email.
I send the email in the chat box.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kamal, is not your email in the chat box?
Your email is not there.
I'll write it again. I'm sorry. Maybe something happened.
Please, thank you.
Have you got it?
Yes, now it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Goodbye.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Bye bye, everybody.